Hello, everybody. Welcome today. I want to talk about kind of a sad thing today. It's like when you lose your friends and how you feel. It's really horrible. I hate it. And I've had it quite a lot because I'm a bit older now, so you get more time to lose friends, don't you? I just want you to hang in there, all right? We all lose friends. Sometimes it's because of them, sometimes it's because of us, sometimes it's because of circumstance. It can be all different reasons, but the loss is still the loss, and it can take a really long time. I have friends who are still haunting me even now, like 6, 7, 8 years on. You're still haunted by it. I wanted to do this podcast because it's so hurtful. It's like such a cut in the heart, and then if you have to bump into them, it's so awkward and it's so uncomfortable, and it really sometimes also makes you angry. You can be angry with them because maybe you ask that they do something or not do something anymore because you can't handle it and you want to maintain the friendship and they just won't, and then it gets lost. I've had that happen to me before. With my super negative friend, I just asked her, can you just cut it back a bit because I'm really struggling with it, and after the phone calls I'm sick. But she couldn't do it, and so I had to go. Now, the emotions are very strong. You've lost actually your partner in a sense in the friendship group, and it will take you quite a long time to heal. With some people, you start grieving the loss before. I've had that where you know that it's going. I always used to know it's like on its way out. It's like I'm trying to retrieve it's on its way out, and I could feel it, but I couldn't stop it from being on its way out. I just had a sense of it, and you might have that sense. So you grieve before it goes, and then after you lose them, and you miss them. I used to miss them so much. I'd want to tell them something or ring up or something, but the relationship was broken either on my side or theirs, and there was no way to reach them. And that's hard too because you've shared so much of your life with them and your feelings and what's happened and everything from work and the family and the relationships and your dreams and desires. And you've shared all these things and times as well, and now that won't be anymore. So there's great sadness. I think it's grief. And I want you to realise that you are grieving, you are mourning the loss of a relationship, a friendship. In some ways, we don't expect to lose our friends too. Like we meet them and we think, oh wow, this is so cool, this is so great. And we don't see it ever ending. So that's a little bit of a shock really when it does end on either side. You are in mourning, you are grieving, okay? And it's okay, and you'll take as long as you take. And people don't tend to talk about it. If they lost their partner or family member, people will speak about it. But I notice people don't talk about losses of the friends very much. It's sort of, you've got to do it alone a bit here. That's why I wanted to do these podcasts, because I just wanted you to know there's someone out there who understands, has gone through it too, and probably will do some more of it. But the awful feeling you have and the disappointment. So there's a lot of emotions there, and I want you to see if you can maybe write out stuff. I wouldn't send them a letter with this sort of writing. I'm talking about just get it out your system. Write about how you felt and what upset you and all the things, and just write it out and then chuck it in the bin. You can also talk it out when you go for a walk. People just think you're talking to someone on the phone these days. And you can talk to yourself in the shower or when you're home alone if you want to, or in the car. And you just need to voice things, especially when it's ended abruptly and you didn't get any closure around it. And sometimes you won't get closure around things. It's all very well, they say you should always, it makes it better. So you have to make your own closure. So your own closure is to talk to them or write the letter to finish it. It's very, very emotional. When it first happens, a little bit like shock, because maybe this person was very close and you might have talked maybe several times a week. Some people even talk daily. So the change is very big, and you helped each other and shared and gave advice, and if something went wrong you could tell them and vice versa, and you don't have that anymore. You don't have that person who's just there for you and you're there for them. You're going to be losing the support as well. So there's lots of losses, when I'm doing this podcast you can hear them all, the loss of support and then the love. You lose the love of that person because that person would have been loving towards you, and now it's ended for whatever reason. Now you don't have that extra love in your life. You can also lose the family of them or their friends. That can happen too. So you don't just lose the person, you can lose what's standing with them. When I lost my negative friend, I lost the whole family. What I did after a few years was I reconnected quietly with the family that I really cared about, even though she didn't want to be in the relationship, the person, the negative one. But I reconnected because I'd lost them and I really missed them. And you might miss some of the actual other friends too that these people had that you knew, because it was maybe more their friends. So there are very, very many losses. So I don't want you to feel like you're being pathetic when you get upset. You can cry and you can be angry and you can be disappointed. But basically you're in mourning, you're grieving. And the grief will take as long as it kind of takes. I felt with some people I never quite got over it. I got over it, of course, in the real world, but there was always that little part that, I don't know, I suppose I just wanted to be with them and be friends with them, but they didn't want that for whatever reason. Sometimes you don't know why too, and you have to put those demons aside and just go, well, I don't know why, and I can't get them to explain, but there you are. I actually have gone in a few times. And my intuition was to just try again with a couple of people because I loved and cared about them, particularly the ones who dumped me, actually. And I just had a few tries. I'll be honest, it never really worked. I did it and I went in, and then they were all funny with me and gave me like an acquaintance friendship, which was very unrewarding. And a couple of times I just gave up, and then I went back and again and tried again because I knew intuitively that we were supposed to probably still be friends, but they were just got all thinking about something. And I actually believe you can heal things. You can forgive and let go of the grudges and just love each other again. I feel you can renew the relationships. But in my actual real world, don't think it really worked with many people. I'd love to say something really positive there, but I don't have anything to say. But I went in 2 times and then 3. When I get to 3, I usually give up. Was it 3 strikes and you're out of it? But I did try. Because sometimes people need help to get themselves out of the corner. They corner themselves, and you can try and help them. Maybe they've said some things or made some mistakes and actually do want to mend it. But I found that their ability to forgive and forget wasn't strong with the group I had anyhow, because I think mine were a bit more controlling than most. However, I felt good because I tried, and I try to fix it. Some people might come in and try to fix it with you too, and that's your choice. If you're the one who's gone, you can choose whether you want to go back in, because we keep changing and we keep being different and we keep learning and hopefully become more loving and more kind and more forgiving and more tolerant. And therefore, if we've got those things that we've got better at, if we come back together, maybe it can be mended. I feel love mends everything personally, but not everyone is in that place to do it. Look at your emotions, don't diminish them. It's a cruel thing to go through and it hurts, and you mostly don't have anyone to talk to about it. And you'll find they'll be in your head a lot, and sometimes it's because they're thinking of you too. You'll be picking up that they're probably thinking of you, or you'll be thinking of them, or you go somewhere and you remember. I just think with most of the relationships I've had, I'm glad I had them. We had some great times and happy, wonderful times that helped me through a lot of stuff, and I'm grateful for that. And for the amount of grief and disappointment and heartache with it, I still think it was worth having it. And there were some lessons for me and there were some lessons for them. So I never saw it as a negative thing. I just thought the ending could have had different possibilities. There's also new friends that opens the door for new people. Once you've healed enough, and I want you to let people in and trust them. You trust people until they do something that you can't trust. I think go in with that attitude, and you might actually be better at choosing friends too, because you'll start to be seeing what you really want in a friendship and what's healthy for you as well. But don't negate that there will always be some sadness around some of the friendships, especially some that were quite precious. And often you'll find that it doesn't matter whether you had to step away or they actually just, ended it for you, which is very hard as well. But it doesn't really matter because you've lost the friendship, and you can probably never get it back while one person doesn't cooperate. You've got to have 2 people really cooperating to do that. So I'm sending love and that to you because it's really sad. I thought it was really sad. I didn't like it. but it's life, isn't it, really? And you just have to get back on the horse, as they say, and then go riding with sunset and try and find some new friends. Because you'll always have some friends in your life who stay, but it's changing, isn't it? It's changing quite a lot. And I think the more work you do on yourself, try to be a better person and work on your issues, I think you'll actually move through friends more quickly, which is a sign that you're changing and improving, but also it can be very heartbreaking. You know, that's the thing, losing a friend is heartbreaking. So be kind to yourself, nurture yourself, eat ice cream if you have to in front of the TV, buy yourself a special top, whatever you need to do to get through it. And if you can find someone to talk to about it, that is a good thing too. I really feel to get it out is really important, and that's part of your healing. So I hope new friends come, and I'm sorry that you've been hurt, and I'm sorry that you've lost friends, because it is, it's a great loss, I think, losing friends, especially some of the dear ones, you know, the ones who were special to you, that you had a real connection with, I suppose. We can also lose them through death, of course, when they pass, and that's a mourning in its own way, different to when they're still alive, but it's still a mourning. So you can also lose friends that way through death, and I think that's sad as well. So I hope your week is full of friends and good ones, and I'll talk to you soon, and sending you lots of love.